It seems like a constant cycle at this point. Every 6 to 8 months, we hear another story about Facebook and their privacy issues, and that they're going to do better next time. They're going to shield and safeguard user information, user data, and then 6 months later, the same thing happens, or a very similar thing happens when it comes to user privacy and user information. And we have the latest story in the chronicles of Mark Zuckerberg, which says that Facebook left hundreds of millions of user passwords unencrypted. And yes, you heard that correctly, hundreds of millions, not 100 million, hundreds of millions, which is a very, very large number. I can't even fathom it. And I'm probably affected by this issue. You might be affected by this issue. Definitely check your email. But like always, guys, I'll leave the link to the article in the description below. We're going to be talking about, what this says about Facebook, especially with the past that they've had, what the implications are, how it leaves so many other people vulnerable, and also the, foggy future of Facebook. I really don't know where this company is headed, especially after hearing this story. But like always, guys, don't forget to drop a like. If everybody that actually watched this video did drop a like right now, it only takes 2 seconds. We would blow up in no time. I actually know that's not going to happen, but I got to shoot my shot somehow, right? But let's jump into it. So on March 21st, 2019, which was a Thursday, Facebook said that an internal security review found the passwords of hundreds of millions of users had been stored on company servers without encryption, but that no passwords were leaked, and the company has found no indication the sensitive data was improperly accessed, aka hackers or people that internally work at Facebook giving away the passwords, right? But essentially what encryption is, if you don't know what it is, when you're typing in your password on Facebook and you see a bunch of dots on the actual tab where you're typing it in, that's a very simplistic, very basic form of encryption. Everybody that is looking at your screen can't actually see your password in a readable format, aka the number and letter combination that you use to log into Facebook. And there's a bunch of other complex ways to encrypt things. There's VPNs, there's a bunch of other things, right? So long story short, your password was on the Facebook servers in a readable format. There were no dots. They were the literal letter and number combinations that you used to log into Facebook. Your password was basically vulnerable for pretty much everybody to see on the servers, aka if a hacker logged into it, or just somebody that worked at Facebook was able to look at the information and see it. There was no encryption whatsoever. And this says a lot about Facebook. I mean, we've seen a lot of stories in the past of Facebook selling user data, user information to companies like Cambridge Analytica, right? We've seen all of these issues in the past, and Facebook is no stranger to giving away privacy for the courtesy, or the benefits of getting money or any type of monetary incentive. And Mark Zuckerberg has been involved with the government, right? There's a bunch of other things that we could talk about, but this really does say a lot about Facebook when they say they're going to do better, especially in front of politicians and the government, and then they simply fail once again. You would think a company like this, a juggernaut like this in the industry, would actually step up to the plate and say and do what they mean. So overall, this is a huge problem, right? But there's a lot of other implications around this story, right? I mean, you have people that are on Facebook that make tons of money, celebrities, politicians, CEOs of companies, etc., etc. Very influential people are on Facebook, and you're going to tell me that, I could hack into the servers if I was advanced enough and sophisticated enough, and I could see Bill Gates' password on Facebook and say, I eat my boogers or something like that. Obviously, I'm using a G-rated sentence because, we all know what the hackers would actually do if they got a hold of Bill Gates' user information, right? But this basically means that if someone did hack into Facebook before this story evolved and before Facebook fixed the issue, I mean, you could have essentially anybody get hacked, and then the hacker can simply just type in anything on the profile that they hacked into. And that's very alarming, especially, like I said before, for people that make a lot of money and have a lot of influencers or a lot of followers or a lot of friends. And there was even some people that were just outraged by this. They said that 2,000 engineers and developers were able to have access to these passwords, so they could, for all we know, sell the passwords, give them off away to people that want to buy them off and buy the passwords and buy the user information to hack into us. There's no legitimate proof that there actually was nobody that did this, right? They say that, oh yeah, like the passwords are safe, blah 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 blah, but of course Facebook is going to say that because they would get smashed all over social media, all over the news if, you know, people that worked at Facebook actually sold the information away. There's, you know, a lot of tweets saying, you know, storing passwords in plain text is the worst possible security mistake a company can make. Letting thousands of engineers access that data is beyond outrageous. And that's obviously true. We want privacy, especially in a day and age where privacy is so highly valued on social media, even though we give it away basically in the terms of service when we sign that off or check that off, right? It still is an issue, and Facebook is no stranger to this issue at all. They should be on top of their game, especially after all the other problems that they faced in the past. And like I said before, the future of Facebook is really grim, to be honest with you. I really want to delete the application off my phone. God knows if I was affected or wasn't affected. They did disclose that if you were affected, you should get an email. I haven't gotten an email, but I don't know if I will get one. It's been about a few days or so, but still, regardless, you know, hundreds of millions of people, that's a good portion. I'm sure at least one person watching this video could check their email right now and say, you know, or see a message from Facebook saying, oh, you were affected by this issue, blah, 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 change your password now. And that's what they should do, but this shouldn't have even happened in the first place. I don't know what's going to happen with the company, the people that are invested in the company, whether it's the users that were affected, and especially the stock and investors, right? Not to get too, I guess, businessy, right? But, you know, Facebook was on a decline like last year because they had that whole problem with Cambridge, and now they're revolving around the same problem and issue again. This could hurt the stocks, it could hurt the investors, and if you're invested into Facebook right now, I don't know what to tell you. You should probably move your money elsewhere, right? Clearly, Facebook either overlooks this problem and just simply tries to, you know, compete with other, you know, firms and companies. In fact, they even, you know, Facebook does own Instagram, and not to get too, I guess, technical here, but Instagram did come out with some type of shopping application or shopping format to compete with Pinterest, right? So Facebook is all over the place trying to compete with other social media companies, but at the end of the day, if you do not respect the users that made your application, made your platform as big as it is, you're going to end up losing, no matter how much you evolve and how much you adapt to compete with these other social media platforms. You are ultimately going to fail if you can't even guard the user passwords that really make your Facebook application as famous and, as I would call it, a juggernaut as it is today. And if you can't do that, you're going to fail. You probably will not last another few years or so if you can't fix this issue and guard it with your life. I mean, you should have hackers, which I'm sure they do, all over the place, trying to hack into your server, try to do this, try to do that, and then you're trying to help better it by coming up with some kind of counter coding to, you know, prevent the hackers from getting in. I'm sure they try to do that or attempt to do that, but there's always that one hacker that just simply will just destroy the Facebook servers or do something, right? And this has happened in the past. Facebook has got hacked, Facebook this, Facebook that, and user information does, you know, obviously get sold, or, you know, it becomes vulnerable. But at the end of the day, if the problem, the core problem, comes back around to bite Facebook, such as this one, and it happens again and again and again, I see a lot of users deleting the app, getting off the platform, deleting your Facebook account. That's actually a thing that you can do. And ultimately, it could leave Facebook in the dust. Even Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, like I said. If, you know, you have an Instagram account, you are also at risk technically, because that's on the servers. There's not Instagram servers, it's Facebook servers. So I would be very cautious about using these platforms. I obviously use Instagram and Facebook, but if this keeps happening, I don't want my privacy to get invaded. I don't want my information to be sold. I don't want my information to be completely vulnerable on a server where a company's supposed to be so massive and so professional that they're supposed to encrypt that. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you think Facebook is going to do better? Do you actually believe that? Do you think they're going to be left in the dust by other competitors that are actually going to respect the users and the privacy on the platform? Or do you just simply think that every social media platform gives away your information based off of the terms of service? I would love to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. That's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. But guys, don't forget to drop a like. It is greatly appreciated. And like I said, if everybody waited till the end of this video and you haven't dropped a like already, you should definitely do so now. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and that bell next to the subscribe button next to my name. I'm Cryptix, trying to protect your information on Facebook, and I'm signing off.